Hi, welcome to the Alex and Dom show. I'm Alex.
And I'm not Dom.
Nope.
Again.
Yeah.
I am Trey.
So today's episode is going to be bizarre unsolved mysteries around the world. Do you know any bizarre mysteries that have been unsolved that kind of catch the imagination of you, Trey?
The imagination of me?
Yeah, like you're like, oh my god, what could have happened? Or I wonder where that, because we've done DB Cooper, we've done an episode on him.
He doesn't spark my imagination.
Yeah,
I think it's just annoying.
and then the Bermuda Triangle. Even though they solved it.
Yeah,
like
they solved
an article came out like a week after we put that video out or a podcast out. It's gonna piss me off. But anyways,
well, they're getting closer to solving what happened with Amelia Earhart.
Earhart.
Is it air for really?
Yeah, it's Earhart. Amelia Earhart.
Earhart.
Earhart, yeah.
So she's like one of those meteorologists that were just born to do something.
I don't think she was a meteorologist.
No, meteorologists have names, right?
Oh, like
specific names.
Derek Storm or I don't know.
Beverly Weatherman.
Yeah, no, they changed their names. That's stage names. Amelia Earhart's name was actually Amelia Earhart. So let's get into the first bizarre unsolved mystery. The curse of the Oak Island. Do you know what the Oak Island is?
I think I watched a Netflix show on that. Is that the treasure one?
Yeah.
It's like treasure buried somewhere.
It's a mystery that's intrigued treasure hunters and adventurers for over 200 years.
That's too long. It's not there.
We're talking about the legendary Oak Island and its infamous money pit.
I'm still telling them, don't go out there. There's nothing there.
Okay, well, there might be. We
Mystery is solved. I just solved it.
The discovery of the money pit. Our story begins in 1795 when a young man named Daniel McGinnis discovered a curious depression in the ground on Oak Island, a small island off the coast of Nova Scotia, Canada.
Yeah. Means it's cold this time of year, too.
Yeah. Suspecting buried treasure, because that's the first thing I would think of.
I would think of like a body.
He is a young man. McGinnis and his friends, John Smith and Anthony Vaughn.
John Smith.
Yeah. Began digging.
This is in the 1700s?
Yeah, 1795.
Well, they had nothing better to do.
Yeah, I know. What they found was the beginning of an incredible mystery. As they dug, the boys encountered layers of oak logs at regular intervals, along with charcoal putty and coconut fibers, which were not native to the region. These findings suggested that the pit was man-made and intentionally engineered. The deeper they dug, the more convinced they had become that something was valuable buried beneath.
More coconut fibers.
I mean, it was probably just from a freaking old settlement.
An old settlement that brought coconuts with them?
Yeah.
Would they bring coconuts?
I mean, the 1700s pirates and stuff, it was probably a pirate island, but they didn't bury treasure. They just probably had a hut there.
Oh, they're going to say they buried coconuts.
Yeah. Well, I mean, why not?
Trying to get them to grow in Nova Scotia.
Over the years, numerous expeditions have attempted to uncover the secrets of Oak Island's money pit.
Wait. What did the boys find at the end of the... Or did they just stop digging?
It was gotten too deep. They couldn't dig anymore.
Chickens.
They couldn't get back out. They tried to uncover the secrets of Oak Island's money pit. Some believe it to be a hiding place for pirate treasure, possibly belonging to the infamous Captain Kidd. Captain Kidd did.
Captain Kidd said he did.
Others suggest it could be the lost treasure of the Knights Templar or even the Holy Grail.
I don't think so.
That is a huge jump. It could be pirate's treasure or the Holy Grail.
Why would the Holy Grail be buried over there?
I have no idea.
Weird.
One of the earliest and most famous expeditions was led by the Unsolved Company in 1804.
A company?
Yeah. They dug deeper into the money pit the money pit and encountered more oak platforms and layers of charcoal, clay, and coconut fibers. At the depth of 90 feet, they found a large stone inscribed with mysterious symbols.
It was the aliens.
Translated, the stone allegedly read, 40 feet below, 2 million pounds are buried. However, the stone has since disappeared, and the exact translation remains a subject of debate. Oh my god, they literally had like "trust me, bro" energy. Like, yeah, it said it, bro.
It said it. I don't know where it went, but it said it.
The curse of the Oak Island.
Of course, because you can't have treasure without a curse.
Oh yeah, it has to be cursed. The legend of Oak Island is also entwined with tales of a curse. According to local lore, 7 people must die before the treasure is found.
How many people have died?
So far, only 6 people have tragically died.
Well, one more needs to go.
Through various accidents while searching for this treasure. Yeah, one more person has to go before we can get it out of there. Despite the dangers, treasure hunters continue to be drawn to Oak Island. The search has involved a wide range of individuals, from wealthy businessmen to seasoned explorers. In the 1960s, a team led by Robert Dunfield used heavy machinery to excavate the site, but their efforts were thwarted by flooding and unstable ground. Yeah, because once you start digging into an island that's at sea level, it's going to fill up with water. Let's talk about the modern investigations.
Before we go into that, I can tell you what's going to happen. Okay. A guy's going to find it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right?
Yeah.
He's going to find it, and he's going to dress up as a ghost. Right?
Are you describing a Scooby-Doo episode?
Yes. And then other people are going to come to the island. They're going to get scared off by a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Stories are going to circulate that there's a ghost and a curse and treasure.
And 4 teenagers are going to come with a dog.
And then they're going to catch him.
Yeah.
And they're going to find out not only was he the ghost, okay, but also there's treasure.
I never understood that. Why would the guy just take the treasure?
It's too much. Too much to carry. Maybe someone else was like right
trips
behind him.
I know. Anyways, in recent years, the search for the Oak Island treasure
led to a TV show.
Has gained renewed attention thanks to the popular television series, The Curse of the Oak Island. The show follows brothers Rick and Marty Leghini and their team as they investigate the island's mysterious mysteries using the latest technology and archaeological methods.
Spoiler alert, they didn't find anything.
We'll see. The Leghini brothers had made several intriguing discoveries. Including ancient coins, artifacts, and structures that suggest significant human activity on the island long before the money pit was ever discovered. These findings have only deepened the mystery and fueled further speculation.
There's no speculation.
Yeah, for one, it's just cool that we found a civilization before 1700s on that island.
Like, I'm sure that's cool or whatever.
For one, did they measure their treasure in pounds back then?
I don't know.
Like, I don't know. Like, I don't think they would be. Theories about the origins and purpose of the money pit are as varied as the treasure hunters who have searched for it. Some believe it to be a complex booby-trapped vault designed to protect a vast treasure, while others suggest it could be a natural sinkhole and even an elaborate hoax.
I think it's an elaborate hoax.
One compelling theory posits that the pit was created by Spanish sailors in the 16th century to hide plundered gold and silver. Another theory suggests it could be a secret hiding place for important historical documents, such as Shakespearean manuscripts or records of ancient civilizations.
Shakespearean manuscripts?
Yeah.
Why would they bury those?
I don't know.
Why?
I have no idea.
There's got to be a reason.
The mystery of Oak Island continues to captivate us.
Not me.
Because it embodies the timeless allure of hidden treasure and the unknown. How did a small island off the coast of Nova Scotia become a focus of such an elaborate and endearing legend?
Endearing? 6 people died. That's not endearing. No, don't do that.
It's a puzzle that defies easy explanations and invites endless speculation. It's pretty obvious. Like, there's nothing down there.
It's
But-
still, I mean, the planks and then the alleged stone. I mean, if that was for realies, if the stone was for real, it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, but why did they lose it? Like, I would keep on to it because, like, I would be searching for more clues of it. Like, you know, like, oh my God, what if I got the translation wrong? And he was like, well, where did that stone go? We threw it away.
I don't know where it went.
Yeah. So
And they pulled a police move.
It makes no sense whatsoever.
Instead of keeping it, they threw it away.
The next
They must
one,
have had mustaches.
and that's the Oak Island. So it's
Incompetence.
unsolved. I
not unsolved.
believe we've solved it.
It is a hoax.
I don't think,
some-
I don't think
some
it's a hoax. I think
people-
something was there, but I
some
don't think
people-
there's treasure.
Some people in the 1700s thought it'd be a great idea. Be like, you know what? Let's bury some random shit. Okay. Make them think that in the future, because, you know, they think that far, you know, that maybe there might be something here. But really, we buried our shit in Madagascar.
Hollywood movies have made us think that pirates bury their treasure. They don't. As soon as they got their treasure, they spent it. Like, that's because, like, there was nowhere. They didn't know when they were going to get captured. It was a pretty rough life. We've talked about it when we did pirates episodes. But the second unsolved mystery, the Roanoke colony.
I don't like this one.
Well, it's not up to you. Our story begins in the late 16th century, during the Age of Exploration. England was eager to establish a foothold in the New World, and in 1584, Queen Elizabeth I granted a charter to Sir Walter Raleigh to explore and colonize the land that would become Virginia.
Yep.
Raleigh's vision was to create a thriving English colony on the coast of North America. You know, when I first read the Queen Elizabeth, I was just like, oh my God, she lived that far back too? And I was like, oh no, man, it's not the same one.
It's a different one.
Okay, well, she was like 1 billion years old. Raleigh's first expedition in 1584 was more of a reconnaissance mission. They explored the area, made contact with the local Native American tribes, and returned to England with glowing reports of the land's potential.
Yep. They're like
Encouraged-
swampland guys.
Yeah, encouraged by these findings, Raleigh organized a second expedition in 1585, this time with the intention of establishing a permanent settlement. The second expedition, led by Sir Richard Grenville, landed on Roanoke Island off the coast of present-day North Carolina.
They missed.
I know, well, back then, I think Virginia was like a lot bigger. They didn't like separate North Carolina. Like there was no states back then. So
Yeah, it's still funny though.
yeah, the settlers quickly built a fort and began exploring the surrounding area. However, tensions within local Native American tribes soon escalated, and the settlers struggled to secure enough food to sustain themselves. So not only did they land in the wrong spot, but they also had a different tribe
Yep.
that they thought they were friends with, and you know they were like, nah,
We're not those guys.
like you can't just be building forts on our land. By 1586, the situation had become dire. The settlers were starving, and their relations with the Native Americans had deteriorated. Fortunately, Sir Francis Drake happened to be passing by with his fleet, and he offered to take the beleaguered colonists back to England. Most of the settlers accepted Drake's offer, abandoning Roanoke Island.
I would too.
Raleigh, undeterred by the setback, organized yet another expedition in 1587. This time, the mission was led by John White, an artist and a map maker. White's group included 115 men, women, and children, all determined to establish a permanent English presence in the New World. They arrived at Roanoke Island in 1587 and found the fort abandoned. White and his colonists set about rebuilding the settlement, but their challenges were far from over. Within weeks of their arrival, White's daughter, Eleanor Dare, gave birth to Virginia Dare, the first English baby born in America. I said that was like in America. What? If anyone's read Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, you know what happens to that baby. It's not great. Despite the momentous event, the colonists continued to face shortages of food and supplies. Recognizing the dire situation, the colonists urged John White to return to England for help. Reluctantly, White agreed, leaving behind his family and fellow settlers in August 1587. He promised to return with supplies and reinforcements as soon as possible. So, do you know how long it takes to get there? It's like a couple months.
Yep.
So when White arrived, he found the settlement deserted. Oh, sorry. Unfortunately, White's return was delayed several years due to the outbreak of the war between England and Spain. The Spanish Armada posed a significant threat to England, and all available ships were commandeered for the war effort. It was not until 1590 that White was finally able to make his way back to Roanoke Island.
He really shouldn't have expected anything. He left it dire. He was delayed by years.
Yeah, like 3 years. And then it took him like 2 months to get there.
Yeah, he couldn't have been surprised.
Yeah. So when he arrived, he found the settlement deserted. The islands and the houses and fortifications had been dismantled, and there was no sign of the 115 colonists he had left behind. The only clue was the word Croatoan carved in a post, and the letters C-R-O carved in a tree. Croatoan referred to the nearby island, home of the Croatoan Native American tribe. White believed that the colonists had relocated there and attempted to sail to the island to search for them. However, a storm forced White's ship to turn back, and he was never able to return to Roanoke or the Croatoan Island. He gave up way too easily.
Mm-hmm. He was like, yep, well, they're all right.
He's like, well, there's a storm.
I'll never go back.
Yeah. He couldn't have, went and then came back later in 1607 when they went to Jamestown.
Guess not.
So, the fate of the Roanoke colonists remains one of the history's greatest mysteries. Over the years, numerous theories have been proposed to explain their disappearance. Some believe that the colonists integrated with the local Native American tribes, while others suggest that they were wiped out by disease, starvation, or conflict. Well, it wasn't disease because everything was dismantled.
The disease did it.
Yeah, the disease is like, yeah, we're gonna kill them, but we're gonna make them take down their shit. And I'm pretty sure if the Native Americans attacked, they probably just would have burned it down or left it. They had no need for it.
Which means they took it down themselves.
Yeah. There are also more outlandish theories.
Aliens.
Possibility they were abducted by aliens or
That's
met a
way too many
supernatural
people.
fate.
Where are their bodies?
That's what I'm saying. If they died there, they would have had their bodies.
Their bodies would have been there.
I mean, the wolves and animals would just ate them right there.
Mm-hmm.
While these ideas make for interesting speculation, there is little to no evidence to support this.
Of course not. Never is.
Yeah.
There's no evidence to support anything.
Yeah, I know.
Except that they didn't die there.
We're going to get to there's evidence that they were not there when they returned. So, in recent years, archaeological discoveries had provided some intriguing clues. Excavations onto both Roanoke Island and Hatteras Island, formerly known as Croatoan Island, which I used to go there every year, have unearthed artifacts that suggest contact between the colonists and Native Americans. These findings support the theory that some of the settlers may have integrated with the local tribes. Despite these discoveries, the ultimate fate of the lost Roanoke colony remains elusive. The mystery continues to captivate historians, archaeologists, and the public alike. Was the colony truly lost? Did the settlers find a new home among the Native American tribes? We may never know for certain.
Sounds like we're pretty close for certain if there's clues that they integrated.
Yeah. There's also there was like rumors or something that they like the Native Americans from the Croatoan Island or Hatteras Island had blue eyes. They
Mm-hmm.
had light eyes and stuff.
Oh, of course they had
Later,
eyes.
I don't know, obvious light eyes, like light
Mm-hmm.
colored eyes. So they think that they probably that's what I believe. I think they just integrated
Mm-hmm.
with the Croatoan because they're actually friendly.
Yep. And what, like, you could picture like the whole scenario. They're desperate. They're scared. You know. And then one guy's like, "Hey, let's try to make friends, man. We can't do this by ourselves."
Yeah.
And then they're like, "No, we can't trust them."
Or they could have just been murdered.
And their bodies were taken where?
Well, they could have just been like, oh, well, the Native Americans are like, yeah, we'll take you in, and then they bring them in, and then like they keep their women as slaves and kill the men and children.
Or they keep the children.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
we don't know.
But there's also another theory.
What?
They went into the ocean.
Oh, like Storm of the Century.
Mm-hmm.
There is a interesting fact about the Roanoke colony on the map that John White wrote or drew or whatever. It looked like a patch that was covering another fort further inland that he covered up, and that people were like, "It's a spaceship," and I was like, "It's probably another fort." So
Well, firstly,
They could've just moved.
he must not have liked his family very much. He didn't try too hard.
yeah, he didn't look at all like he was just like, "Well, oh well." So the next bizarre unsolved mystery is the Mary Celeste.
Okay.
Do you know what that is?
No. Sounds like a lady.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there is a person named Mary Celeste. But it's about a ghost ship found abandoned in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean.
A ghost ship.
Mm-hmm. The discovery of the Mary Celeste. Our story begins on December 5th, 1872.
Of course. There's no more ghost ships.
I know. When the British brigantine De Gracia was sailing through the Atlantic Ocean about 400 miles east of the Azores, Captain David Morehouse and his crew spotted a ship drifting aimlessly in the distance. As they approached, they noticed something peculiar. The ship was under partial sail and appeared to be abandoned. The ship in question was the Mary Celeste, an American brigantine that had set sail from New York on November 7th, 1872. So a month earlier. Bound for Genola, Italy. The Mary Celeste was commanded by Captain Benjamin Briggs, an experienced mariner, and had a crew of 7 along with 2 passengers. Captain Briggs' wife, Sarah, and their 2-year-old daughter, Sophia. All told, there were 10 souls on board. When Captain Morehouse and his crew boarded the Mary Celeste, they were met with a perplexing scene. The ship was in good seaworthy condition, with no signs of struggle or damage. The cargo of 1,701 barrels of denatured alcohol were intact, and there was ample food and fresh water on board. Do you know what denatured alcohol is? Like ethanol, like rubbing alcohol.
Oh.
Yeah. The mysterious abandonment. However, the ship's lifeboat was missing, and the captain's logbook was the last dated November 25th, 1872. The crew's personal belongings, including valuables and navigational instruments, were left behind. It was as if the ship's occupants had vanished into thin air. Theories abound as to why the crew would have abandoned the ship. Some suggest a sudden and severe storm, but the ship showed no signs of having weathered such a tempest. Others propose a pirate attack, yet no valuables were taken, and there was no signs of violence. One of the more intriguing theories involves the ship's cargo. Mary Celeste was carrying barrels of denatured alcohol, a highly flammable substance. Some speculate that fumes from the alcohol what could have caused an explosion or the fear of one, prompting the crew to abandon the ship in a panic. However, no scorch marks or damage were found to support this theory.
Just the burning part. The fumes, I mean, if they were scared enough.
Yeah, I'm sure those fumes are probably not great to breathe in.
What if they caused hallucinations? Mm-hmm. And they thought that...
Oh, like the orang Medan?
Yeah.
Or the man of Medan?
Yeah, the man of Medan. Like, it caused hallucinations and they all just jumped in the ocean.
Yeah.
Except for probably the lady and the baby. They probably got in the lifeboat and got lost.
Yeah. As with many mysteries, supernatural explanations have also been proposed. Some believe that the Mary Celeste fell victim to the Bermuda Triangle, despite being found far from the infamous borders. Others suggest sea monsters or even alien abductions.
Well, the aliens are in the ocean.
Yeah. While these theories capture the imagination, they lack any substantial evidence.
Well, firstly, how are you going to prove an alien abduction?
I don't know. Like I said, it's weird.
So if they were abducted, 10 is a lot easier to abduct than 115. I'd be more likely to believe a little group of 10 was abducted by aliens, ocean aliens, than I would believe that the entire settlement of the Roanoke Island was abducted.
Yeah. Another curious aspect of the Mary Celeste mystery is that the personal background of Captain Briggs, known as a devout and capable mariner. He was highly respected in his community.
Why would that be a mystery?
His abrupt disappearance, along with his family and crew, leaves a haunting void and adds to the enigma.
Okay, because he was good at his job?
Yeah. Like, he wouldn't have just turned tail and run unless it was serious.
The squirrel, okay, which do exist in China, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Why would you think that they didn't?
I don't know. I just thought it was an American thing. I thought it was a North American mammal.
No. Anyway.
And way to just bring that up casually.
The squirrel can cross the road 99 times.
Mm-hmm.
99 times.
Mm-hmm.
Be very good at crossing the road.
Yeah.
But on the 100th time, he get smashed by a car.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with, what is it, Mariner?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what he is?
He can cross the ocean 99 times and then sink.
Get hit by, I was going to say get hit by a car, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that anything is possible, especially in the ocean.
Investigations.
Or?
And speculations.
The Megalodon.
No.
Yeah, like in the movie.
It still would
in the Meg.
Still would have
jumped
left something.
over the boat. Well, I mean,
and what? Scooped it up with all of them with their tongues? Yes. No.
Yeah, and there would be no damage.
There's no damage to the ship either.
I just said it didn't damage the ship.
In the wake of the discovery, several investigations were conducted, but none could conclusively explain what happened to the Mary Celeste.
That's because it's in the 1800s.
Well, they can tell, like, there's blood on the
Yeah, I mean, the basic stuff, yeah, but the rest of it, we could have figured that out today.
Yeah.
I guess not.
The ship was eventually auctioned off.
Why?
And continued to sail around with different owners until it was initially wrecked off the coast of Haiti in 1885 in an attempt as a insurance fraud.
Oh, how rude.
Yeah. Despite numerous attempts to uncover the truth of the fate of the Mary Celeste's crew, remains one of the greatest maritime mysteries of all time. Over the years, countless books, articles, and documentaries have explored the case, each offering their own interpretations and theories. So I think that what I think is that the crew of the ship that found it probably found the crew on them, killed the crew because they got money for bringing ships in, derelict ships back. They get like 30 or 40% of the cargo, the money for the cargo. So it looked like they probably killed everybody and then like took it in. It was like no one was on it. You know.
Yeah, but that goes back to deathbed confessions and stuff.
Yeah.
How we were talking about with the The moon landing.
Yeah.
Nothing stays secret forever, which is not true, by the way. Jack the Ripper died without telling anybody he was Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, but we have like super theories. Like
we can have theories, but he never said he was Jack the Ripper.
Thomas Cream was like, I'm Jack the... because he got hung. Despite numerous attempts to uncover the truth, the fate of the Mary Celeste crew remains one of the greatest maritime... Oh, I already read that one. I apologize. The mystery of the Mary Celeste continues to captivate us because it taps into our primal fear of the unknown. How could a ship in perfect condition be found abandoned in the middle of the ocean? Its crew vanished without a trace. It's a puzzle that defines easy answers and invites endless speculation.
I believe you said that before.
I know. I like to repeat myself.
I'm just saying. And on top of that...
Well, he devised easy answers. Like, what happened to them? Like, obviously, I think that the other crew of the ship killed them. But, like, what do you think, like, apparent... Because I've heard... I think it's made up. But I've heard, like, there was still food on the tables and stuff. Like, it was, like, in perfect condition. Like, it was stopped in time.
Well, it was only a month, so... I mean, I don't know. There probably is a simple answer. We just don't know it. What are they called? Sirens.
Oh, you think that they were just lured to their death? There was only 10 of them, so, I mean...
It wouldn't be that hard.
A pirate attack could have happened. They could have either kidnapped all of them or...
And killed them on their ship.
Yeah, just killed them and then threw them in the water.
But the crew would have been all men. That's 7 men. There would be a struggle.
Yeah, that, and they would have took all the valuables. They would have took all the alcohol was worth money.
Yeah.
There's another theory that they
the
hit something or something, and the captain thought they were probably taking on water, so he like called to abandon the ship, and it was fine. It wasn't. Like he panicked, but like
he wouldn't have done that.
He would have done that. Yeah. My money's on that the crew that just came across them.
You're defaming them.
I mean, they were investigated for it.
Well, it's not like they're going to rat themselves out.
Yeah, so like the insurance people are like, this is kind of convenient. It was only missing for a month. Like most derelict ships are missing for months and months at a time.
Yeah, I mean, your theory sounds literally, firstly, human.
Yeah. That's
the most likely. But I like the fume one. Yep. The fumes made him go kind of crazy.
Yeah. That and it could be anything. It could be scurvy. Scurvy makes syphilis. They could have had syphilis. Lost their mind. What's that thing called where like a group of people together have like a mass, like
it's hysteria.
Hysteria. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's mass hysteria. And it wouldn't even be mass. It'd be like mini hysteria because there's only 10.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on to our next mystery, the Dyatlov Pass incident.
Mm-hmm.
So this one actually probably the most actually the most bizarre one I've ever heard, because there is no clear answer whatsoever. And I'm going to give my best guess of what happened, but like this is like beyond crazy.
Like, when I first heard this one, and when I first heard the Roanoke Colony, they were on par with each other for me when I was younger. But the more that came out about the Lost Colony, it kind of loses its...
Yeah, it's because it's like the most likely option is...
Yeah.
They went with the
But
Native
with
Americans.
This one, there's no likely option.
Yeah, there is not. Like anyone, even
this
like
one,
the bizarre ones.
There's no simple answer.
Yeah.
Even if there was a simple answer, there isn't one.
In January 1959, in the heart of the Soviet Union, were 10 adventurers from the Ural Polytechnical Institute set out on a skiing expedition to reach the peak of Unturitin, a mountain in the northern Urals. Yeah, Urals are mountains, like Ural Mountains. This group, led by 23-year-old Igor Dyatlov.
He is too young to have a name like Igor.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, it's 1959.
well, he also went through his entire life with that name, so.
Yeah. It was composed of 7 men and 2 women, all seasoned and experienced in the harsh conditions they would face. Little did they know their journey would lead to one of the most perplexing mysteries of the 20th century. The expedition team was an eclectic mix of students and alumni from the Ural Polytechnical Institute. Igor Dyatlov, the 23-year-old leader of the group, known for his discipline and resilience. Yuri Doroshenko, 21 years old, remembered for his strength and fiery character. I'm so sorry if I butcher these names. Lyudmila Debelnina. At 20, she was known for her determination and willpower. Gregory Karivnashlinko, 23, always the joker and lighthearted member of the group. Alexander Kolkratov, 24, a methodical thinker and detail-oriented individual. Saniada Komargorova, 22, known for her spirited nature and enthusiasm. Rustim Salobonda, 23, a quiet but determined individual. Nikolai Tharbria Brunova, 23, a friendly and charismatic member. Semyon Zolotaropov, 38, the oldest and most experienced outdoorsman who joined the group at the last minute. Probably regretted it at the time.
Suspicious.
Yeah. Yuri Yudin, 21, who had to turn back due to an illness, a twist of fate that saved his life. Or was he in on it? Bum, bum, bum.
I was going to say he was a lucky fish, but
Yeah.
I guess it could be the other way around.
On January 23rd, the 10 hikers began their journey, full of enthusiasm and camaraderie. They traveled by train, truck, and eventually on foot, documenting their journey with photographs and diary entries. The first part of the journey went smoothly as they made their way through the villages and into the wilderness. On July 28th, Yuri Yudin fell ill and had to turn back, leaving the remaining 9 to continue their expedition. This decision would, although disappointing for Yudin, ultimately saved his life. I don't know. He could have been like the final man.
How's he the only survivor?
Yeah, he could have, like, well, for one, he's the only survivor because he left
Yes.
early because he was sick. But
he could
then
have told.
again,
He could have told us what happened.
well, that, and he could, maybe that would have been the difference. Maybe they would have been alive if he would have been there.
Oh, no offense or anything. If you're still alive,
He should have sacked up.
well, he was sick.
I mean, what kind of sick? Was he like pneumonia sick or he needed medical attention, or did he just have the sniffles?
Well, either way, wouldn't be healthy in the mountains.
I hear high altitude's really good for your lungs. On February 1st, 1959, the group found themselves on the slopes of Kiatlo Sakal. Sorry, I don't know. I'm flopping between languages here. Which translates to Dead Mountain
That's where I want to go.
in the local Manzi language. If I'm not going to Dead Mountain. Like, I'm sure they knew what this said. They decided to pitch their tent on an open slope rather than moving 1.5 kilometers downhill to a forested area, which would have offered some shelter. This decision, potentially influenced by Dyatlov's desire to practice camping in extreme conditions, would lead to their untimely demise.
Well, he should have not done that, firstly.
No.
And secondly, his desire should have been done alone.
Well, yeah, and it's also the same thing with the Donner Party, too. It was like it was all caused by one person.
That's the way it works.
Like, just because you're the leader of the group doesn't mean, like, I would listen to the most experienced person. Like, where do you think we should go? The weather conditions were harsh, with temperatures dropping to negative 30 degrees Celsius or negative 22 degrees Fahrenheit. And the strong winds blowing across the mountain Despite these challenges, the group remained in high spirits, as evidenced by diary entries and photographs.
Mm-hmm.
So they have photographs of them
Of course.
having fun and stuff. The mysterious incident. Sometime during the night of February 1st to the 2nd, something unexplained happened. The hikers slashed their tent open from the inside and fled into the freezing cold with little to no protective clothing. The reasons for this panic remain a mystery to this day. When the group failed to return as scheduled, relatives demanded a rescue operation. The first rescue group, consisting of volunteer students and teachers, was sent out on February 20th. It wasn't until February 26th that the abandoned tent was found on the slopes of Kietsuka, the dead mountain. The tent was half torn open and covered with snow, with all the group's belongings and shoes left behind. Uncovering the bodies. The first two bodies, those of Koskinta and Doroshinko, were found at the edge of the forest, around 1.5 kilometers from the tent, where they probably should have
camped out
to begin with. They were shoeless and dressed only in underwear, laying near the remains of a small fire. This discovery was the first indication that something strange and tragic happened.
Well, the first indication was that they didn't come back.
That and they're dead.
Yeah, I guess that would be a big indication.
Between the forest and the camp, the searchers found the bodies of Dietlov, Kolmogorova, and Subardin, who seemed to have died, and poses suggesting they were attempting to return to the tent. Dietlov was found clutching a small tree branch, his face frozen in a final desperate attempt to survive.
What does that look like?
I have no idea.
Like his eyebrows down?
Yeah,
I don't understand.
I don't know. He just had a serious look on his face, but he was Russian, so he probably had that all the time.
But he had a tree branch?
Yeah, tree branch. Probably like a walking stick.
I was going to say like something to defend himself.
Yeah. It took more than 2 months to locate the remaining 4 hikers. On May 4th, they were found under 4 meters of snow in a ravine further into the woods from the last 2 bodies. These hikers were better dressed than the others, and signs suggested that those who had died first had their clothes relinquished to the others. The injuries sustained by the hikers were both bizarre and severe.
Oh, they were in a ravine.
Yeah, Trebo Broganolo had major skull damage, while Dimino and Sodrotov suffered severe chest fractures compared to the force of a car crash. Debernina, was also missing her tongue, eyes, and part of her lips.
Well, that could be animal related.
Yeah. The injuries were inconsistent with the hypothesis of an avalanche, as the force required to cause such damage would have been immense. The bodies showed no signs of external trauma. Additionally, the missing body parts suggested some post-mortem manipulation, adding another layer to the mystery. Several theories have been proposed to explain the incident, from avalanches to military tests to infrasound waves, attacks by indigenous Mansi people. But let's dive into each theory in detail. The avalanche theory. One of the earliest and most widely accepted theories suggested that an avalanche caused the hikers to flee in a panic. The tense positioning on the slope and the weather conditions at the time could have triggered a small avalanche, causing the group to cut their way out of their tent and flee. However, the location of the incident did not have any obvious signs of an avalanche. The injuries sustained by the victims did not fully correspond to those typically found in avalanche victims.
Yeah, but they were fleeing from a small avalanche. Doesn't mean they were in one.
Well, that, and I think, wouldn't the tent be fully buried if it was an avalanche?
Yeah, and is it when did they die? Somewhere in the first-ish of the month, right?
Yeah.
And they weren't even looked for until 19, 20 days after that.
Yeah.
And then they weren't even found.
Yeah.
So
Some
Any-
others were down 4
an
months.
avalanche makes probably the most sense.
Yeah. Infrasound theory. This theory proposes that a rare weather phenomenon caused by infrasound waves, which can induce panic attacks in humans. The waves could have been generated by the wind passing over the mountains. The hikers, driven into a panic by infrasound, might have fled the tent in a state of disorientation. This theory, while intriguing, lacks concrete evidence and remains speculative.
Well, again, how are you gonna prove that?
Yeah.
Considering it's rare.
Well, the Mansi people do say that like the mountain does hum and buzz and stuff. So,
Well, then they just
I
added.
mean, there's a reason why they don't go on this island island. Oh, why do I keep going back to island? Pass. Military testing.
Of course.
Another theory is that the group stumbled upon a secret military test. Some hikers had burns, and some of the clothing found on the bodies were radioactive. This has led to speculation that the hikers encountered something highly unusual, such as a secret military operation or a test involving radioactive materials. However, there was no concrete evidence to link the military directly to their deaths, and the radiation levels were found not to be considered lethal.
The military's not going to be like, yeah, it was me.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, we killed these people, sorry.
It was us, bro.
The Mansi people attack. There was speculation that the local Mansi people attacked the group for encroaching on their land. The Mansi are an indigenous people that were native to the region. However, this investigation found no evidence of other human presence nearby, and the injuries sustained by the hikers did not indicate a violent struggle with other people. Dude, this person's tongue, eye, and lips were missing. Like, I mean, it's post-mortem, but...
It still could be animals.
Yeah. Or one of the guys was hungry and just took a last-ditch effort to survive.
Yeah, we would have ate them cold because they weren't found near a fire.
Paradoxical undressing. You know what that is?
No.
Some suggested that paradoxical undressing, a condition where hypothermia sufferers remove their clothes due to a false sensation of overheating. This might explain why some hikers were found without clothes. Hypothermia can cause victims to become disoriented, exhibit irrational behavior, but this does not fully account for the severe injuries found on some of the bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Supernatural theories.
Of course.
The more outlandish theories involve such elements as the Yetis or an alien encounter.
Man, I think aliens are... I think they've been... Minus the first one.
Yeah.
They've been in every single one.
I don't think aliens, obviously. Yeti, maybe. That explain the crushed skull and the crushed chest. And the missing body parts.
Yeah, but only one.
Yeah. Mm.
I don't know.
The investigation and closure. The official investigation concluded that a compelling natural force had caused their deaths. Wow, that was... the case was closed and the files archived. In 2019, the Russian authorities reopened the investigation and ruled out several theories, concluding that the avalanche and poor visibility caused the group to panic and die from hypothermia. However, many questions remained unanswered, and the true cause of the incident remains to be a subject of intense speculation. So, I mean, like, that is crazy. There's like a crap load of documentaries and everything else, but it's weird. Like I said, that one, probably the most obvious one is the avalanche, or a secret government test.
Yeah, but they weren't around them then because there's no other human, around.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to talk about our last one today, Amelia Earhart.
Earhart, yes.
Earhart, yes. It is probably one of the greatest unsolved cases of the 20th century. The disappearance of Amelia Earhart.
And her co-pilot.
And this wasn't just any pilot. Earhart was an American icon, a symbol of adventure, resilience, and courage.
And a woman.
And her mission was to circle the globe in 1937. Her and her navigator, Fred Noonan, vanished without a trace. But what happened on that fateful journey?
Crabs.
They got crabs?
No, crabs happened to them.
Oh, well, we'll get to it. Hold on. We'll get to the theories of what
I'm just
happened.
saying.
Let's set the
What about
setting.
what about the stuff that's been coming out recently? You got that too?
Are you talking about the picture?
Not just a picture.
I don't know. You can talk about the stuff they just found recently. Amelia's early life and achievements. Let's start by getting to know Amelia. Born July 24th, 1897, in Actionton, Kansas, Amelia grew up in an era where women were expected to follow traditional roles. But from a young age, Amelia challenged these conventions. She wasn't interested in being ordinary. Descriptions of her childhood reveal a fearless girl with a love of climbing trees, playing rough with her younger sister, and once even creating a homemade roller coaster off the roof of a shed. Amelia's daring nature was clear early on. Dude, she made a freaking roller coaster? That's pretty badass. However, her childhood wasn't all smooth. Her father, Edwin, struggled with alcoholism and financial instability, putting a strain on the family. Amelia's mother, Amy, raised her daughters with an independent spirit. The strong influence of her mother's resilience and her father's struggles may have played a role in shaping the courageous woman Amelia would become. By her early 20s, Earnhardt's fascination with aviation was becoming a passion. It's interesting to note that her first flight in 1920, a 10-minute, $10 ride, was enough to spark a lifelong commitment to the skies. After the first flight, she famously said, "As soon as I left the ground, I knew I had basically she knew she was going to fly." Her journey wasn't easy. Working multiple jobs to pay for flight lessons, Amelia faced societal and financial barriers at every turn. It's hard to imagine the odds stacked against her. At the time, only a handful of women had been pilots, and aviation was mostly dominated by men. And then there was her instructor, Nettie Snook, who taught her only the mechanics of flight, but also the endurance and determination needed to be the pilot. Amelia's solo transatlantic flight in 1932 made her a global celebrity. Imagine the scene, flying alone, battling fatigue, freezing temperatures and storms, and the plane itself wasn't equipped with modern navigation tools. But she made it to Northern Ireland. Her courage was unlike anything the world had ever seen, and from that moment on, she wasn't just Amelia Earhart, she was Lady Lindy, a symbol of progress and resilience. Lady Lindy?
Lady Lindy.
Weird. The final flight. Technical details and preparations. Fast forward to 1937. Earnhardt, now 39, had set her sights on the biggest challenge yet, a flight around the world. This was ambitious, even for a seasoned male aviator. So Earnhardt's decision to attempt decision to attempt it was groundbreaking. By this time, she had already made countless flights that earned her several records, but she wanted more. She wanted to be the first person to circumnavigate the globe near the equator. Charles Lindbergh had already done it, but she was going down towards the equator, so it was longer to go around.
Well, Lindbergh.
Yeah, he lost his baby. That sucked. Her plane, the Lockheed Electra 10E, was custom built for this mission. Known as the Flying Laboratory, the Electra had modifications for long-distance flying. The most important alteration was the additional fuel tanks, which increased the plane's range significantly. But even with these modifications, Amelia and Fred faced a challenge. fuel limits were still an issue, and they had to calculate every mile precisely. They had extra radio equipment, emergency survival kits, and survival special navigation bubbles to give Fred Noonan a better view of the stars for navigation.
Did you know the dinosaurs used stars for navigation?
I did not know. I
I
don't know
didn't
how
either.
they would know that.
I don't know either. But it was in the recent dinosaur documentary that I seen.
Like I said, I don't know how the hell they would know that.
Yeah, I was pretty amazed to find out that they think that they followed the stars for navigation. How else would they?
I don't know how birds do it since magnetic north. Was they're all evolved from birds, or they evolved into birds. Earhart's partnership with Noonan was crucial. Noonan was just any navigator. He was a skilled veteran who had mapped Pacific routes for Pan Am. He understood the complex calculations required to chart a path over open water, especially with minimum landmarks. Together, they had planned each leg of the journey, calculating fuel, potential weather issues, and emergency procedures. This route took them across South America, Africa, India, Southeast Asia, and Australia before arriving at Lee, New Guinea in late June. At this point, they had already completed over 20,000 miles. Their last and most dangerous leg would be the 7,000 miles over the Pacific. On July the 2nd, they took off from Leh, heading toward Howland Island. But communication problems began almost immediately. Amelia's plane had 2 radio systems, but one wasn't functioning properly. The Iska, a Coast Guard cutter positioned near Howland Island, was ready to guide them in. However, Amelia and Fred struggled to establish clear communication and her final transmission. "We are on the line 157-337. We are running north to south," was received as a faint, chilling message. Then silence. Theories behind the disappearance. Crash and sink. This theory suggests that Amelia and Fred simply missed Howland Island and ran out of fuel and crashed into the Pacific. Without landmarks, navigating over open water is extremely challenging even for experts. The Electra didn't have GPS. Navigation relied on visual and radio cues, which may have been hindered by cloud cover and radio interference. This theory was widely accepted because it aligns with what we know about her final transmission. But why, then, was there no wreckage found?
It went straight under.
Well, for one, it's a big fucking ocean. It's huge.
Lots
The
of
Pacific
currents.
is like big as ocean. It's not going to be found. Like the Malaysian airliner that went missing probably crashed in the Pacific Ocean, and we'll never find it.
Or we will eventually.
Yeah. Oceanographers have suggested that if the Electra did sink, it's possible that it's lying miles below the surface, out of reach of even the most advanced technology. Some wreckage could have drifted away with ocean currents. Underwater searches have focused on areas around Howland Island, but as of now, nothing definitive has surfaced.
Mm-hmm.
Theory 2. Gardner Island castaways. In 1940, bones were found on Gardner Island, a deserted coral atoll about 400 miles from Howland Island. The bones were originally examined by a British doctor who concluded that likely belonged to a man. However, more recent studies suggest that the bones could match Amelia's. Along with the bones, they found items like a sextant box, parts of a woman's shoe. Some believe Earhart and Noonan reached Gardner, survived as castaways for a while, and eventually died.
Right.
That's the crab island, by the way. They were eaten by crabs.
Mm-hmm.
Japanese capture, Theory 3. Another popular theory is that Amelia and Fred somehow ended up in Japanese territory. This theory suggests that the Japanese, suspicious of Americans near their islands, during a tense pre-World War II period might have captured them as potential spies. There are various reports from the locals who claim to have seen Earhart as a prisoner. Some speculate that she had died in captivity, with no concrete proof being surfaced.
That seems a little unlikely then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, they probably are like, oh, you're Amelia Earhart? You know, like, they're probably just like, okay, you're an American woman. Like,
yeah, exactly.
yeah, and they could have just killed them. Theory 4. U.S. government spy mission. This theory takes the Japanese capture theory a step further. It suggests that Earhart's flight was actually a part of a secret intelligence mission for the U.S. government, perhaps to photograph Japanese military installations. After her disappearance, the government allegedly covered up the mission. While this theory is fascinating, there is no solid evidence connecting Earhart's flight to espionage. Well, there wouldn't be, would there?
No. Not if the government covered it up.
My thing is, that actually sounds like something America would do.
Uh-huh.
So that one, I'm leaning towards the spy or just crashing into the ocean.
Yep.
Post-war survival in New Jersey, Theory 5. One of the most outlandish theories posited that Amelia survived the flight, assumed a new identity, and lived her life in New Jersey. Some theorists claim that a woman named Irene Bellum was actually Earhart. Although Bellum denied these claims, proponents of this theory point to similarities in appearance. This theory is mostly dismissed by experts, but it adds to the intrigue.
Considering all she wanted was fame for doing this thing.
Yeah, I know. She would not be like,
She would
I'm
not
going to
change her
change my
name.
name.
I mean,
Unless she was a government spy.
unless she was a government spy.
So, yeah.
Oh, and like you said, there's no actual proof, but they found sonar images.
Oh, yeah, I saw the LiDAR one. Yeah, it looks like a plane.
It does look like a plane.
Yeah, but it looks like an intact plane, and it wouldn't be intact. Mm-hmm. It would be, as soon as it hit the water, it would have exploded on impact.
It depends if she was trying to figure out a way to
land it?
Yeah.
There's also a girl who heard a radio contact.
Oh, I heard about this too.
Amelia Earhart. She's like, my name's Amelia Earhart, blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, it could have just been someone messing with her and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, or just being a jerk in general.
Yeah. So, my thing is either she was a government spy and she got captured on purpose or accident or shot down trying to spy on the islands, or she just missed the island completely and crashed into the ocean and they died.
Which wouldn't have been anybody's fault, really.
No, it was cloud cover and bad radio signals. So, I mean, her story will probably go down in history. It'll probably never be solved.
Or it will be solved when we finally decide to get our heads out of our butts and explore the ocean.
Yeah, this could be it. It's for Amelia Earhart, really. That should just be it. Not aliens. We should just search for Amelia Earhart. And as soon as we find her...
Or at least her plane.
Yeah, our plane. Well, we won't find the body. Like, if their bodies are in the ocean, we'll never find them.
I guess it would depend on how airtight the,
No, salt water, it dissolves bones after a while.
Yeah, but I meant, like, if it's airtight and there's no way for water to get in.
Yeah, like the Titanic. Like, there's no skeletons in Titanic anymore.
There isn't.
Yeah. And people are like, did they take all the bodies and pull them out and give them? I was like, no. Yeah, I was like, do you know how expensive that would be for one?
Yeah, for one. And it's better to just leave it alone.
So did we not cover any bizarre unsolved mysteries that you thought would be interesting? Or did you... I mean, I know you didn't know about the Mary Celeste and the...
No, I knew faintly about the Mary Celeste, but I thought it was a bigger ship. Because of Ghost Ship.
Yeah, no. Like, the movies like Ghost Ship and Queen Mary are... like, there was other derelict ships that were found at the time. Like, the Man of Medan was a derelict ship that was found, which didn't exist. It's an urban legend.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But, I just thought it was bigger. Obviously, the Dyatlov Pass.
Yeah.
That was always been one of my favorites.
Yeah, that was... I mean, with the bizarre unsolved mysteries, like I said... Yeah, they're unsolved, but like you can pretty much put your best. Like there's a theory that fits. Like
or comes close.
yeah, like the Lost Colony of Roanoke. Like it, they probably went with Native Americans.
Yep.
Either way, they either died of starvation, tried to go inland to find a better place. Like either way, they either joined up with the natives or they died. And the Mary Celeste, my theory is like the crew just killed them,
Right.
and took the ship to sell it.
I mean, how trusted was like one of the 7 crew members? Maybe they were in on it.
Yeah,
And it's not like they would come out and be like, "Yeah, I was
like yeah,
there."
like there's a mutiny. Like they were like, oh yeah, and then like they just killed them and stuff, and like, oh like he was part of our crew the entire time. You know, they could
Yeah,
have
exactly.
been like their crew. Like he just was like, hey, this great score's coming up soon. Mm-hmm. You know,
And what did they do it like a SOS, or was that not there yet?
I don't think that was there yet. Yeah, I don't think they had
I'm gonna have to look that up later.
radios back then.
Yeah, you can do SOS in different ways.
Morse code, yeah, but you have to send it over waves, airwaves.
But I mean, like I said, we'll have to figure
Yeah.
that part out.
But yeah, that was bizarre unsolved mysteries around the world.
And only one is truly bizarre. The other ones are just unsolved.
I don't know.
I think so.
Amelia Earhart's was bizarre.
It's not bizarre. She was
an
trying to
accomplished
fly over the
pilot.
ocean.
Yeah, but
I
she
mean,
was an
seriously.
accomplished pilot.
She could be accomplished all she wants. I told you. The squirrel that is in China.
Oak Island.
No, not bizarre.
Something's down there.
No.
It's not treasure, but something's down there.
Nope.
Well, one more person has to
Coconuts.
die. Like, take one for the team, man. Someone just needs to take one for the team so we can find the treasure. That's what I would do. Like,
No.
I'm like 6 people are dead. And I was like, come on, man. You know, the ratings will be amazing.
Just bring the dude that
Someone
you
had
don't like.
someone had a heart attack, though. But I don't know if it was that one. If it was Oak Island or, like, the Alaskan gold diggers.
Probably the Alaskan gold.
I don't know. Someone had a heart attack, but I don't know if they died or not. But I was like, I bet you if it was like the curse of Oak Island and someone had a heart attack, they're just like, please, 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 please.
The other people around him, anyway.
Yeah, like please, 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 please. All right. I thought that was a great episode. The next episode is what?
I don't know.
I think it's the Menendez brothers, if I'm not mistaken. It's either SCP, Secure, Contain, Protect, or the Menendez brothers. I'm not sure. But thank you guys for listening. We appreciate it. If you made it this far, gold star.
Gold star for listening.
Yeah. We appreciate it. Leave us a 5-star rating if you could. It helps us get out there.
Yeah. And then it would be
And
6 stars. Your gold star.
yeah, you're a gold star for helping us or
The
for
5
listening.
you give us back.
For real. I mean, really, 5 measly stars is well worth the gold star you got.
Fair. It's a fair trade.
But comment below, and we appreciate you guys listening, and we will see you in the next episode of the Alex and Dom Show. Thank you.